Hello, my name is Carmen, a proud African born in Bulawayo, the cultural capital city of Zimbabwe. I'm an international performing arts educator and an international performing artist. I want to share that for us, the arts are not just entertainment, they are life, they are culture, they are education. Growing up in a household full of singers, art surrounded me like the air I breathed. I am told that as a child, whenever I climbed onto anything higher than ground, a table, a chair, I would sing. It was my natural language. It was clear to everyone, except my family maybe. In my home and in my culture, singing, dancing, poetry, these were and still are everyday activities, nothing extraordinary. After all, music is culture. It wasn't seen as a career, just as a part of life, and the belief that artists were destined to be paupers didn't help. I had to defy the odds. I started performing and studied music as my first degree. Without knowing what career would come of it, I just kept following the music. When I started traveling to perform internationally with the band African Destiny, something shifted. Suddenly my family, especially my loving father, who once said to me, "Get married and study nursing like your sisters," began to see that maybe there was something more to this path. And yes, those words fueled my fire, even when I didn't know why. Teaching was not in my dreams. It found me when bills needed paying. I hated it at first. I thought I was terrible. But it was my students, their parents, my colleagues, my principals, who kept seeing something I didn't yet recognize. A passion, a connection. And over time, I fell in love with teaching, not just because of the job, but because I realized something profound. The arts are essential. The arts are education. As an African and an international performing arts educator, I have questions, I have dreams, I have a vision. Learning through the arts. Learning through the arts unlocks creativity, emotional intelligence, critical thinking, and resilience in ways traditional methods simply cannot reach. Art is not an extra. It is the foundation of who we are and how we learn. In traditional African societies, the arts were education. We learned through storytelling, through dance, through beadwork, through songs sung under the stars. A child's first lessons came from observing, imitating, and participating in creative acts that were woven into daily life. Art was our encyclopedia, our moral compass, our science book, our history class. But then came colonization. It uprooted these systems. Western schooling was introduced, designed to serve colonial interests and not African growth. The arts were pushed aside, labeled primitive, irrelevant. And today, sadly, we still often wait for Western research to validate practices our ancestors knew were vital. We're still fighting for a place in our own educational table. But there is hope, because the arts still hold the keys. The arts cultivate skills that the world desperately needs. Critical thinking. When a child paints or plays music, they are solving problems, making choices, and thinking independently. Resilience. Every dancer who falls and rises again learns perseverance. Empathy. Theater. Poetry. Storytelling. Song. All teach us to walk in one's shoes. global citizenship. The arts are a universal language, connecting us across borders, beliefs, and backgrounds. Arts education is not a luxury, it is a necessity. When we embed the arts back into education, we honor our roots and prepare young people for a future where creativity, innovation, and emotional intelligence are a currency of success. The arts are our silent superpower, often overlooked, often underestimated, yet quietly shaping minds, hearts, and futures more profoundly than any textbook could ever. The arts are transdisciplinary. They teach math through rhythm, science through acoustics, history through drama, and emotional intelligence through painting. They cultivate curiosity, risk-taking, and a love of learning. Imagine a world where every child feels seen, heard, and valued because their natural creativity is nurtured. Imagine where schools that have the arts as not just a side note, but the beating heart of learning. If I had a magic wand, I would wave it over every school in Africa and beyond and restore the arts into the center of learning. I would rebuild our educational systems, not around memorization, but around imagination. I would honor the wisdom of our ancestors by teaching through song, story, color, and movement once again. Because the arts are not just subjects, they are our silent superpower, ancient, vibrant, and unstoppable. They are how we build resilient, empathetic, courageous, and creative citizens. And because every child deserves not just to survive education, but to sing from the rooftops of their fullest potential.